I don't want to be that guy. But I just contacted Tabletop Simulator to see if I can't get Gangs of the Undercity made into an official mod, so that you can, pay and download and have all the assets like right there for you. So like that's something that we're working towards. So obviously I'm not going to ever say enough good about Tabletop Simulator. And we did a ton of playtesting for Gangs of the Undercity on Tabletop Simulator. So
Well, when you sort of showed that in your private Discord server talking about that idea, I was so excited to see that there, and the way the company Berserk Games approaches that.
Yeah,
That was really
like
neat. Do you want to
profit
talk about that
sharing.
just a little bit?
Yeah. So when we started looking into it, about maybe making it sort of official or going down that rabbit hole, we got one of their brochures, which basically like details what it means to be, I don't know, to have like an official download mod, right? And the thing that stuck out to all of us was the fact that they do a sort of profit sharing model, right? Where we charge a certain amount. Apparently that's negotiated. I haven't gone through the whole thing with them yet, but I have contacted them about it. But yeah, like you set a price, you talk about who gets what percentage, and they take all of your art and they make all the assets. I mean, it just seems like a really no-brainer thing unless you have plans to do your own video game, down the line. It just seems like a really cool thing to do. So yeah, we're already planning. We have one of our sculptors, goes by the name of Popsicles, who's done a lot of our sculpts for Gangs of the Undercity, is going to be our sort of official Gangs of the Undercity online sculptor. So all of those sculpts will be not necessarily made into physical sculpts, but all of them will be ported into Tabletop Simulator, right? So we'll have a whole bunch of gangs, a whole bunch of minis that exist in a virtual form for the Tabletop Simulator version that won't necessarily be made into physical figures, but Tabletop Simulator certainly makes that a lot easier, to just put an asset in, drop it in, and do what you want with it and play with it right away. So we're looking forward to that. It's pretty cool.
While we're talking about Tabletop Simulator, I wonder if you have any insight on something I've always wondered, which is, so if somebody goes in and says, I want to just make Gangs of the Undercity, we'll use it as the example, in Tabletop Simulator. I just want to do it of my own free time and volition, and then put it up there as a mod for people to download for free.
Yeah.
Is there a way for you to keep them from doing that if you wanted to? Not that saying that you would want them to, but if you would want them not to do that, or B, are they allowed to do that?
I will jump in and say Asmodee has already stepped in and shut down free mods of games that they've created as DLC for.
But also, I've seen shit like Risk Legacy up there, and I know for a fact there's no way Hasbro is cool with that. But it's been up there forever.
It's under the radar.
I was like, it just probably isn't. And what else were we playing on there the other day? Mansions of Madness? No.
Let's maybe not call anything specific out, because maybe I'd like those to stay under the radar.
Yeah. We were playing the Betrayal, right? Like that can't be official, right? Like somebody just
if you're just getting it on the workshop as a free mod, it's not official.
Yeah,
somebody
those are not.
Scanned the things and uploaded it, and there's tons of that stuff out there, and a lot of board game companies either aren't aware or they just don't care. Honestly, if I were a board game company, I would just not care unless
that's where I am at, right? Like if somebody said like, hey, we're gonna make Gangs of the Undercity, I'd be like, hell yeah, here's some prize support, right? Like
that's that if you
getting
were
more
aware
excitement of your game, like that seems like a no-brainer. Unless you had plans on doing it yourself, right?
If you're gonna I mean the thing is, if you're gonna if people make free versions of your free mods custom made, the one thing about that is that as a user, you're going into it being like, this might have a bug, or this might not have the best quality images or something, right? But in this case, because there are people that are actually paying Tabletop Simulator, like, hey, here are all my assets, make this amazing. I mean, I've seen, because we played Cosmic Encounter, the actual like paid version, and that is the best table of it there. But you can get free versions of it, of what other people have made, and you can play it, but it's not going to be the same experience as getting like that just nicer feeling
Right.
table.
The Risk Legacy games I've played were frustrating because they didn't quite get everything right.
Well, then
And I
there's
can see the benefit of getting it right by making an official partnership.
companies like Leader Games. We played Root by Leader Games on there, and I don't know. The one that we played was really, really good, and I don't know if they made it. I know while they were playtesting their game, it was all over there, and it was a public playtest, and it was all over Tabletop Simulator, and so they were. I think they might have gotten it up there with all the scripting and all that kind of stuff, or somebody did and they were okay with it. But the people at Leader Games don't care. They were, even when we were playing it, they were in the chat room hanging out with us, and we were playing a Tabletop Simulator. Like, that was there's more eyes on your game, I guess.
Yeah, and I love that perspective. There's not a lot of venues where you see that prevailing attitude from the general developers.
Yeah.
In most cases, where there's an IP and a potential threat to it, it's just got to shut that down. And that's kind of the way that system is built. But that's a whole other series of topics in a tangent. Maybe I don't want to go down at this time.